What's up, guys? We are here live, and as usual, I will record these and put them up on iTunes. Not all of them, but some of them. I think it's important to get to the people that I don't reach all the time. That's just the way of the world, with everybody being too busy and being everywhere and not everywhere. So catching you guys when I can, those of you that are on lunch breaks on the East Coast, this is a perfect time to ask strength and conditioning questions. Some of you guys have business questions. That's cool as well. Strong life topics. Any of that stuff is good for me. So let's get these questions going. Just drop a comment below and I'll be answering them. We are, at the time of this recording, we're the day after the ending of the Olympics. So it's August 22nd. And one of the most amazing things, hey, Matt Van Schock, what's happening, was Kyle Snyder winning an Olympic gold medal at age 20. He won a world championship at age 19 and a national title wrestling at Ohio State. When I think about it, when he won, I was like, man, what was I doing at age 20? His level of maturity and his commitment to excellence blew my mind. And for those of you that are performance coaches, strength coaches, wrestling coaches, go to my YouTube channel and see the video I put about the Russian wrestling system / overseas wrestling system versus the American wrestling no system, because we don't have a system. Hey, Michael, good to see you. Nice to see you. Yep. Michael is the owner of Gold Medal Plumbing and Heating and lives nearby in New Jersey. Tremendous guy. We met at the 25K group in New York City. Does a lot of business coaching. Gonna have to get him on the podcast. Mustafa says, hey, Zach, nice to see you live. Quick question. How do I maximize recovery during mass building phase? Great question. Your nutrition is going to be key. Taking a daily nap, even 20 to 30 minutes, is clutch. Getting to bed, sleeping 8 to 9 hours per night is going to be key. And maybe during mass building, a lot of people talk about high volume training, but you might want to just experiment training every other day, or train hard one day, the next day is just some sleds and light body weight for recovery. So those are some of the things that have worked great for me. If your gym is not too close to home, have a protein shake right after the workout. Then when you get home, have a steak, a potato, a salad, big meal. I talked about that in the Gladiator Project. The summer I put on the most size was when I was dialed in with my sleeping, my eating, nutrition. It was a powerful time. Here we go. Keith says, getting after it with knowledge bombs. That is correct, my man. Matt says, much time would you typically spend training a phase for a cycle? I'm about to do 8 weeks hypertrophy. I'm about to start a strength phase. I don't do phases so much with the athletes I train because they come and go. So we're more of a concurrent conjugate method. We're always working on strength. We're always focused on building size, unless it's the in-season. We're focused on improving performance. I think if you're looking, at an athlete and you've got them long-term, maybe the month after the season, we do a rebuilding phase, another general physical preparation phase. We get away from some of the heavy weights and get to some bodybuilding work. It really depends on the situation. Being an independent strength coach, I don't have these phases because of the erratic nature of parents and athletes. They're just not consistent. So that means I can't count on them to be here in season, postseason. You never know. Matt says he has a 5-year-old son. Can't wait to wrestle until next year. I've never been a wrestler myself. Matt, search around and find a good coach, a great coach. Some of these recreation programs don't have great coaches, let alone good coaches. They spend time doing a lot of the wrong stuff and they turn the kids off to it. I take my son to a wrestling club called Sure Thing. The coach is amazing and my son loves it and he's learning the skills. And I think that's critical. this is kind of goes to my video of what I did on the American system of wrestling training is, overseas they put highly qualified, highly skilled, not just sport coaches, but physical preparation coaches with the younger athletes. So they're doing everything smarter and better, and they're just not teaching ridiculous stuff. So, I'm not sure where you live, certain states are kind of wrestling places. They have a lot of clubs, so you'll have a lot of opportunity to seek that out. Hit me up with a private message if that helps you out. Michael's asking, what are your thoughts on tracking pH? I've been doing it last 3 weeks. It's making a huge difference. Doctors aren't speaking about it. Michael, my expertise is definitely not in nutrition, but I believe you and I were early guys going to Tony Robbins seminars. I believe I went to his as a third-year teacher, so that may have been the year 2000 or 2001, and he was talking about testing your pH levels. The guy I go to in New Jersey is called Dr. Tom Bilella. He's in Red Bank. If you go to his website, nutritiontreatmentcenter.com, he takes some pretty heavy-duty blood work. He tests on things that you need to be tested on, as well as stuff you might request. And then from there, he builds out a nutrition protocol, supplementation protocol based on your blood work. So he's not guessing. It's very powerful. He's in Red Bank. I would look him up. Daryl Dansby is also the Swamp Man. One question nobody asked me about that I wish they would. It's not the question that I wish they asked. I'm waiting for the coaches that are unsuccessful to show up at the gym and say, Zach, help me. And they don't show up at the gym. I just saw Tom Ryan from Ohio State and Kyle Snyder and the assistants. Kyle just won a gold medal. They went and visited Westside Barbell. Kyle Snyder is a gold medalist. This was, maybe a month or two ago that they visited. Kyle Snyder was a world champion visiting Westside Barbell with Coach Tom Ryan, who a year ago they won the Nationals in wrestling. Yet we have teams and coaches with a 80 and 90+% losing record who don't show up, who are within 15 minutes of my gym, within 5 minutes of my gym. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for coaches to step up for the relentless pursuit of excellence, because it kills me that their kids suffer because the coaches are not leaders and they don't have a standard of excellence. Mustafa says, what about glutamine? Do you prefer it for recovery? I'm not a big supplement guy. I take B, C, magnesium, zinc, calcium. I just don't take a lot of those supplements. I'm a big believer in they are supplements. So how is your nutrition? I'm telling you, there's not a lot of tricks. When I was younger in my bodybuilding days, I was taking Phosphagen, which was the creatine brand way back in the day, early years of EAS, and it worked. Matt Whitmore, thank you. My pleasure. Oh, you're in Illinois. Maddie Vanchuk, Illinois is amazing. You're going to have to PM me on Facebook, but a former Iowa wrestler, one of the greats, he was an Olympian. I believe he took bronze, has a wrestling club in Illinois. I know Illinois is not small, but man, I'm going to have to look him up. So he was an Iowa wrestler under Dan Gable. Anthony Bainbridge is in the house. Strongest dudes, one of the strongest guys I know. Lawrence wants to know, when I screw something up or miss a small detail, I take it personally. You ever feel the same way, and how do you handle it? Yes, I'm a perfectionist. I'm very tough on myself. I'm very tough on other people, which turns a lot of people off, which makes me, I believe, unemployable, because I don't want to tolerate people being good enough or happy with that. But there are times where you have to just say, it's time to move forward. This is good enough. For example, worked on a book, a very small book with a couple of guys. We did it in February and March, and we're still screwing around, waiting on just everybody's dragging ass. I think it could have been done. It had great information, but everybody was like, oh, the grammar, the this, the that. And I think eventually you have to move on and be an action taker, because in the world of whether it's business, performance, speed is crucial. And if you're waiting for perfection, there's actually no such thing as perfect. So there's no such thing as perfect. Michael Meeker says, hey, Zach, some of my clients are 45 and over. They don't always eat as well as they should, and I feel that some of what they eat causes inflammation in their joints. Absolutely. What kind of foods would you recommend they remove from their diet? Gluten, pasta, dairy. I mean, they should really be focusing more on, what people call the caveman paleo diet. I would research what Mark's Daily Apple does, Mark Sisson does, and then make a bullet point checklist for your clients, give it to them and say, here's what you have to follow. This nutrition is clutch. My buddy who I mentioned, Tom Bilella, I said, hey, how come these 16-year-olds, how are they not ripped? Even if they eat like shit, how are they not ripped with all the testosterone flowing in their body? He goes, look, you want to be a beast? It's 75% nutrition. What I always say is 100% training, 100% nutrition, 100%, I say 100% everything. But he said it right, which is, it's amazing that people don't want to do certain things. They just don't want to make changes. And I think training with adults who might be set in their ways, you have to find a deeper meaning, their why. Why do you want to eat healthy? What is the reason behind it? And put up a challenge. It might not even be a 30-day challenge. It might be a 5-day challenge to have no gluten, no breads, no pasta, none of that stuff, and give them a list of foods to choose from. Anthony, the dog is doing great. Her foot is actually doing good. We don't do all the jumping, but I think she got stung by like a wasp or stepped on it because her foot just swelled up. I feel like Dobermans, mentally, they want to go 120 miles an hour, but physically, they're more so meant to just drive 55. Sounds like me. Mario says, what's the best exercise to gain strength upper body-wise? I've been told that deadlifts and squats are all I need. Deadlift and squats, although I consider them full body, they're primarily lower body work. For your upper body, hang cleans, all kinds of presses, floor press, bench press, overhead press, dumbbell clean and press, dumbbell bench, weighted push-ups, pull-ups, rope climbing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I never feel like it's just one. I feel like it's building an army of things, amplifying your ammunition to go to build that area. So it's not just one thing. Squats and deadlifts are great, but what about being greater? That's the difference between good enough and greatness. David Luck asking how the band bell is going. I've been doing pretty good with it, but I'm going to tell you what's better. I've got a couple friends in New York City. The name of their company is called Resilient Performance. They're doctors of physical therapy, and I went in and got a treatment last Wednesday. We did some postural restoration. We're having me move away from all the arched rowing, arched benching, no going overhead because of my mobility issues, and not packing the shoulders in, because what happened is my ribs became so out of whack that it caused a lot of the impingement. These guys did some manual therapy on me, and I feel tremendous. So if you guys Google Resilient PT, they have a great YouTube channel, and I believe Doug will be speaking in October in Indianapolis at Mike Robertson and Bill Hartman's place. These guys are tops, and I'm going to really try my best to bring them in. I have a strength coach brotherhood happening. So any of you strength coaches who want in, make sure you Facebook message me. We're going to be going September, October, November, and then sometime maybe, I don't know when, maybe even early December, we will do a 2-day adventure / mastermind. I want to bring those guys in. We're going to do training, we're going to do business, we're going to go, who knows, mountain biking, whatever the weather permits. So Google those guys, and you strength coaches, get in on that strength coach brotherhood, the relentless pursuit of excellence. Drop me a private message, only for ass kickers. Sil O'Connor says, advice for someone who wants to start up their own strength conditioning facility. Go to zachevnish.com. Sign up for the newsletter. You'll see it on your right-hand side. It says, are you a strength coach? Get free business tips. Get Operation Thunder, the Warehouse Gym Project. And Google some of my podcasts that I've done with Spartan Up, David Gilliland, Rise to the Top, David Seitlin Garland, Rise to the Top, Barbell Shrugged. All of my podcasts that I've been interviewed in, they often ask me about business, so do that research right there. Belton Lubas, one of the earliest underground strength coaches. Mustafa, thanks, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, Tyler says, how do you supplement high school athletes in football season who lift twice a week at school and they're on the bigger, faster, stronger? Most of the football players don't come in season, including the ones who have barbells dropped on their neck and have a discount. If you guys go to ZachEvanash.com, I did a recent rant about how parents are clueless with what is going on in the high school weight room. So if they don't want to be with us, I don't want them to be with us either. So let's say they are coming to you, right? I don't want to skip your question. Bigger, stronger, faster, what are they doing? Squat, bench, power clean, deadlift. Who knows what the technique is like? Bigger, faster, stronger might be awesome in one school, complete crap in another school, depending on the coach, depending on their level of expertise. What I like to do is more sub-max effort. I still have them box squatting. I don't do leg flexion exercises to avoid their hamstrings getting beat up. If it's a running back or a receiver, their upper body could get worked pretty hard. If it's an offensive lineman, it depends how beat up their upper body and joints are, or a defensive lineman. So I do it according to the position, but also a lot of these kids, they still need to get stronger. They need to get tougher. So I put all of that stuff together. I don't do much of power cleans, but I will be doing the main lifts, and I lower the volume. Hope that helps you out. There you go. Okay, guys, thanks for stopping by. Grant Craston asking, I still keep in touch with Joe D. Is that Joe DeSena or Joe DeFranco? I'm not sure. What else do we got? Sorry, guys, for the video moving. Okay, Belton Lubas off to train. What other training questions do we have, guys? See a couple of people joined up here. And I'm not going to bail out, guys, on the Instagram Q&A. I will get back to doing that, but I do love doing these. I'm able to do them on the fly. Grant, nope, I haven't spoken to Joe D for a while, and I think we're at these stages in our life where we're super busy. When Joe and I used to communicate a lot, I think my daughter was just born, or I wasn't even married before that, and Joe's got 2 or 3 kids now, so it's pretty amazing how hectic life gets. And the one thing that is a shame is, like, we put all of our stock and energy into business, and we forget to simply say what's up to our friends. And Joe was a important mentor to me in my early years, and his father was also very much a mentor to me because, you know, his father was just a straight-up, hard-working, ethical guy, and I think that was always something I could relate to. I admired that. It wasn't anything fancy, and I liked that. I couldn't relate to the fanciness of stuff. And Joe, you know, when I met Joe, he was in a storage closet, not a warehouse, a storage closet. Tyrone Elijah, I miss you, dude. I hope you stop by. Your son must be getting big. Jason Torturer, that's an amazing last name. When am I coming to Florida? I go to Florida for my daughter's tennis camps, but I don't really have time to put on any kind of seminars. I'm not sure where you are, but I go to Boca area. So if you want me to maybe do something for half a day, that's a possibility. Angel, how are you, my man? Colin says, I play ice hockey. My knees and hips get sore and stiff. What can I do to improve this? I would do a lot of sled work for recovery. I would spend a lot of time with mobility, on hip mobility. So do a lot of banded hip distraction. I would also do a lot of smashing and rolling out of your legs. And listen, if they're beat up, sometimes you got to go old school, and do an ice bath. It's amazing what it does to dissipate the soreness and improve recovery. Gabriel Villarreal asking, what are your thoughts on Travis Mash at-risk programs he's putting together? Gabe, I think he's working or partnered up with somebody he interviewed on his podcast, who I believe is located in D.C. I love it. What disappoints me is I've reached out to these areas such as Camden, Irvington, places that are murder capitals in New Jersey, crime-ridden areas. And people don't even email you back with a no thank you. And it just shows me that there's a lot of bullshit going on with the administration. People too lazy to even attempt to look into it. So I'd love to find out how to do it to help kids. But it's tricky because I've found that when things are given to people for free, as much as I want to do it for free or discounted, they treat you like a piece of shit. It's like they just treat you like shit. So I've been a bit turned off to that, and I feel like I can't help people until they're ready and willing to help themselves. Matt Whitmore is asking, how many lifting sessions per week for your out-of-season football athletes? It depends on what they're doing at their school. Usually they're in 2 to 3 days a week with us. Depends on their requirements at their high school. CrossFit OCD in Kissimmee. Yes, I believe we had a conversation. Jason, I think that was you. I think you're connected with Travis, and I did a certification in celebration, I remember. But if that's you, I recall that you wanted the certification in your gym. Otherwise, it was a no-go. Yes, Gabriel saying the mental health system is jacked up. No doubt. All systems are jacked up because there are no systems, or there's just too much politics, or the kids are not put first. So disappoints me. Josh Kramer, thanks for supporting. Yeah, Gabriel, it's like, I'm always amazed at schools. And believe it or not, like, I would go back to teach in a school if I could be a strength and performance coach. But nobody wants that. And I've had some opportunities where it was actually about to happen. And it's interesting that some of the coaches were like, nah, I don't think we really want that guy here. And I'm talking about coaches who have losing records. They just weren't excited. Like, they don't give a shit that they're losing. So to me, I'd get fired if I was there, because I would scream at those people. And I would be pretty pissed off that they don't even attempt to do better than good enough. And some people aren't doing good enough. What do the first few months in the gym look like for wrestlers who are good but haven't lifted weights or dragged sleds before? A lot of body weight, a lot of sleds, a lot of band work, a lot of basic kettlebell training. We've kind of got phases where we have introductory phases, intermediate phases, and then we have the workouts. We use a software system called Wattify, and if they can't do those workouts on the board, it is a regression system. So if you go to undergroundstrengthcert.com, that's the online certification, I break down our whole regression model for training middle school athletes to Olympic level athletes. Johnny D says people are losing sight as to how paramount hard work is. No doubt about it, brother. Things are hard. To succeed is hard. And some people get by on their genetics, their natural talents. And I think that causes a blur about what it takes. There's going to be kids that show up late to the gym, leave exactly when it's over, and succeed. And then there's kids that show up early, stay late, do all the right stuff, and they never hit their stride, maybe because they don't have the confidence. There's so many of these things, these outside forces, inside forces happening. It's just something I'm still trying to wrap my brain around. The Talent Code is a pretty interesting book, but I'm really assessing and analyzing, look at this kid. He slacks, he finishes last, he argues with coaches, then he goes off and he's very successful. Look at this kid, he busts his ass, he does everything right, and he always falls one step short, even though he believes in himself tremendously. The other kid is maybe, in wrestling or football or whatever the sport, in maybe a weaker weight class or a weaker position so they could get by. Let's see. What do we got here? CJ's here. Andrew Carr. I live out in the country. Cool. I can no longer train in the gym, so I'm moving towards body weight only for a while working outside doing landscaping. Wow. I wrestled for 13 years. I'm 23 now. How can I train this way to get stronger and put on muscular mass? Will I already be too trained to see much progress from bodyweight? Andrew, no way, buddy. If you live out in the country, utilize my bodyweight bodybuilding program. It's linked up on my website. You could also do weighted exercises to your calisthenics. So weighted pull-ups, weighted push-ups. And I think if you live out in the country, I just posted on Twitter and Facebook, one of the guys from Garage Gym Gladiators gave a little video tour of his garage of homemade workout equipment. He made his own sled from a tire. He had many sandbags that he made. You could have stones. So you don't have to go just with body weight. You could push a car or truck. I remember a local wrestling coach told me his team is not successful. He's like, you know what holds me back? We don't have our own wrestling room. You look at the Cuba weight room. It looks like a torture chamber. I mean, it looks, I don't even know what word would describe it. I saw videos of some of the wrestlers that were, I'm not sure where they were in, like the Russian countries or those Russian states, Georgia or Uzbekistan. They were like training with stones, whereas maybe, the person in the posh environment is training with a $250 Bulgarian bag. There's always a way. Yes, Jason, thanks. Follow me since the backyard days. Dude, time goes fast. It goes too fast. CJ Appenzeller, I appreciate you, man. I'm proud of you because you're just a hard worker, dude. I've always admired that in people. I wish more people had that work ethic like you. It's fucking awesome. Colin says, what's your opinion on machine-based low-intensity cardio? Yeah, for people in their 30s and older, I think having an aerobic base is great. Even in my 20s, I used to finish my bodybuilding workouts with 20 to 25 minutes of Stairmaster or intervals on the treadmill. So I'd maybe like jog or run for about 2 to 3 minutes and then walk on a high incline for 2 to 3 minutes. And it was great. And, now I think with, the West Side Method and people like myself, like we not forget about talking about that stuff, but I go mountain biking, walking, playing tennis, hiking. When I go to the beach, I'm swimming, I'm body surfing. So I do a lot of these things to try to stay quote unquote in shape. Sled drags with lighter weights. Andrew says he's been a fan for a long time. Your methods helped me win 2 provincial championships in high school Canada. That's awesome, bro. Thank you, Andrew. I think Canada did okay in the Olympics. If you know, drop a comment. Yes, Grant, Matt Wachlinski makes equipment. Even on some of his YouTube videos, he's got a lot of how-to videos that people need to go back and watch, or just Google Matt Wachlinski homemade strength equipment. What are some options on lateral core strength exercises? Well, you could do static and you could do dynamic. So you could do Russian twist, you could do pull-off press, you could do banded rotations, you could do med ball lateral throwing. If you have a landmine, you could do landmine rotations. You could do one-arm kettlebell carries. You could do side bends. You could do offset carries with 2 different objects, 2 different weights, 2 different positions on each side. Side planks statically, side planks up and down. The list goes on and on. Francisco says, hello, my man. It's 10 of. I'm going to take one more question because my kids are coming home from tennis soon. What do you guys got? Any more questions? 1 or 2 more? Maybe a training and a business question? Or just training? Let's see what we got here. Oh, and last time, guys, before I cut out, you strength coaches out there, if you want to be inside the Strength Coach Brotherhood 3-month business lifestyle coaching group, shoot me a message on Facebook, and I'll send you an application, and then you could sign up from there if you're ready for it. You should have some form of a business going on, and it's also going to be, when we do our mastermind / adventure experience together, it's going to be training. So I don't want, people who don't walk the walk. I want people who show up and are ready to kick ass in training, kick ass life, kick ass business. So send me a private message. Grant, thank you. Talk to you soon. Andrew said our men somewhat dropped off the ball, falling short of 2 bronze medals. We had one girl who I trained with a few times win gold. Very cool, man. Very cool. But Canada, I believe, is up there with the hockey. Chris Frank asking about favorite business books. Oh, man, I think I answered this in the last Q&A. So, Chris, go back and listen. I'm looking at my bookshelf now, but favorites, Turning Pro and John Huntsman, Winners Never Cheat, even during difficult times. Dan Kennedy, No BS books are amazing. Those have definitely been my favorites. All right, guys, that's it. Go to ZachEvanish.com. Check out all the blogs there. I feel like people don't know how to get off of Facebook. They don't know how to, do anything unless they're on Facebook. Cert with you or the online, which one is best to do? Obviously, doing a certification with me is going to blow your mind. I'm doing a semi-private cert. We're going to have 5 people involved in New Jersey, October 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's going to be premium priced. You're going to be traveling to both locations, even though I think my 3rd location will be opening up at that time. And it's going to be intense. It's going to be learning in front of the whiteboard. It's going to be hands-on training. It's going to be training with my athletes, training with me. It's going to be the most awesome, most intense certification out there. I'm no longer doing kind of open enrollment where anybody could sign up because I'm disenchanted with the kind of people that were showing up. Complainers, people out of shape, people canceling, people with pregnant wives having a baby 5 minutes before they're supposed to show up. Like, I'm just not good with excuses, even my own excuses. Grant Craston, law of attraction, do I believe in it? Yep, but I also believe in the law of do hard fucking work and earn your shit. Can you do any online tutorials? I don't really have the time for it. That's why I've got Strength Coach Brotherhood coming up. You could message me if you want that for business coaching. And we've got the online certification, and I've got a lot of online coaching. Best thing to do, guys, is go to ZachEvanish.com, and you'll get and you'll see the links and all the resources available to you. Thanks so much, guys. Have an awesome day. Much respect. And don't forget, you get what you earn. Peace.